Hello and welcome everybody to New Earth Consciousness. Tanya here with Shilpi Gupta. Shilpi, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Tanya. It's a
Yeah.
pleasure.
Yeah, and so just so the audience knows, I'm just gonna let you know who she is, what she does. And so Shilpi is an intuitive healer, a spiritual mentor, and founder of Sublime Healings and MotherMorphosis. I love that name. And you can find her on Facebook as Shilpi Gupta. She's also on Instagram, MotherMorphosis. Was it MotherMorphosis? There was a number after it.
12.
12, that's right. MotherMorphosis 12. Um, yeah, so you can find her in those places. And her work really does sit at the heart of the new paradigm, helping sensitive souls, mothers, and cycle breakers release generational patterns and heal emotional residue and reconnect with their true essence. And so when you and I talked before we got on here, we really dove into um, the divine feminine, the energy of the
Right.
divine feminine. And so I want to open it up with that because I feel like you carry a lot of depth when it comes to diving into that subject matter. I mean, it's such a huge topic, obviously, right? It
Right.
spans so much. So I just want to open the floor to that, to just invite you to share your wisdom around what that is and why is that something that's so important for humanity to look at.
I think it's the perfect place to open. And I thank you, Tanya, for giving me this opportunity to share my thoughts, my ideas, and my wisdom with the public in general
Mhm.
through your platform. And the work that I do is one side, but when we can share it with more people, it's like lighting a candle, not necessarily with an intention or a bigger purpose, but when you light a candle, it just dispels the darkness. And I feel like all of us as light workers, we are here to do that. And I feel like my role has been, it's always been, I feel like I was led to do this work in a very subtle but profound manner. I started working with children. And through children, of course, you have to work with parents. And I realized I was working very closely with children and their parents, especially mothers. They would confide in me. They would, ask me for answers. And I found myself, even though I didn't have any children, but they always felt comforted, and they thought I had 2, 3 kids, and I had that experience, so the depth of knowledge. And so, I feel like it's a divine gift that something just flows through me. And why I feel um, it has been given to me, this opportunity or this mission. I feel like for many lifetimes I have been in this role, working with mothers, whether they're expecting, they have children, and kids in general. And I see it more so in the current times, just the shift that's taken place, where it has been so important to awaken that uh, forgotten, or let's say, we all have this amnesia, whether it's the feminine or the masculine. But especially for feminine, I feel like we, over the ages, our power was kind of slowly eroded by all these roles and definitions and responsibilities. And we took it on because, as women, we love to nurture, we love to give, we love to serve. But as we kept doing that, we started to forget our own selves. And I feel now is the time, the call of the times, to awaken that remembrance of who we are. We are the portal of life. We bring forth life. into this dimension. And the more we are asleep to our powers, the more, the life comes through us, but it comes like an unconscious, or um, it comes into being without that power that it could have if we were more aware and more alert and conscious and alive. I mean, we are alive, of course, but the word alive, I mean in all senses, where we are alive and awake to our power, not in a forceful way. And I would like to use the analogy of the sun and the wind. Both of them are powerful. Yet, when the sun smiles, its warmth is it's so much that you can't keep your clothes, too many warm clothes on. You'll start to shed those barriers. At the same time, when the wind blows, you would want to hold on to your barriers and your jackets and whatever it is to
Mm-hmm.
protect.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them exert the same power. And so, what has happened with feminine being wounded or having forgotten its power, the force has come into play where we are trying to struggle, hustle, and push our way through, which is so misaligned to who we intrinsically are. The feminine is the nurturer, the receiver, the intuitive one. But I feel like our intuition has been, kind of diminished to the fact that we've been made to depend on the outside knowledge. For everything, there is a specialist, and we have to refer the specialist.
Mm-hmm.
We can't seem to make any decision or trust in our being, even though our children come through us. We gestate them for 9 months in our bodies. We are so intimately connected with them. And yet, the moment the baby is out, the baby is rushed out, taken by different hands. We don't even get a chance, unless it's like the home delivery or there's a doula who understands.
Yeah.
You don't have an opportunity with your baby just as it comes out. The umbilical cord is cut, and the fluid is still in the cord, and the baby is severed from the mom. And they say, as the baby, we cut the cords with the baby. The baby doesn't get that nurturance that is due to the baby.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, not only that they don't get, but all of the trauma, because birthing process is a major milestone in the life coming into incarnation on this earth. And through us, whether it's the period of gestation where the baby is soaking in all of our emotions and all of the ancestral baggages and traumas that we inherited as mothers, or the time of the birth, whether it was the doctors around us, whether it was a painful, the painful, what is it? Ah,
Is it at the time of birth? You mean like
right, right.
when they use the forceps or whatever sometimes? Is
Yeah,
that
that
what you
is traumatic. But when the labor starts, if it is quite prolonged, and if it's like,
mean?
it is very, very uncomfortable for the not just the mother, but for the baby as well.
Mm-hmm.
And and that is the time, I mean, when the baby has experienced something like that, the baby grows up, even if they don't remember consciously, but they do have that imprints of that trauma. And so when we as mothers we deliver the baby and we are not aware of all of that, we look at the baby or the child reacting and we think, I don't know what's happening. We refer to all the specialists and they give us all these cookie cutter answers. And instead of, dealing with our children in the most intuitive way, which all mothers know in the deepest wisdom, they know, but they are told, no, 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 that's not the way to do. This is the way to do. And I feel like that that is something that is creating more and more complications in the children and our society in general. So I feel like my purpose here is to bring mothers back home to themselves, not just mother, all of us, but especially mothers because of the role we play. If we can come back home to ourselves, if we can regulate our nervous system, then we hold this beautiful space for not just ourselves, but for our children, for humanity in general.
Hmm.
And I would just like to use this analogy because it's been coming to me for the last 2, 3 days.
Mm.
The plumbing, and it's something that we all can relate to in our house. All of us have plumbing. We all have taps. We've got hot water, cold water. If the plumbing breaks down, it's not a good sign, right? We don't want that. We want to make sure that all the pipes are working fine, the water is coming in an easeful manner. But what if there's a sediment in some pipes? You see, when we open the tap, the flow of the water is not that great. And over time, when sediment keeps building, the pipes kind of get clogged up. And then we have trickling water. Our nervous systems are the same way. They are meant to be like the clear plumbing where the energy flows. And that's when we are most relaxed. We are able to, work from that deeper wisdom. But when our nervous systems are charged because we've been worrying, there's anxiety, there's so many emotions that have been playing up, it's like those sediments being deposited and constricting the nervous system, and energy is not flowing. So we become more and more reactive. And because of that, it's not an easeful presence. And so my job is to help us make our nervous system just like the clean plumbing, where the energy flows clearly, where we are able to release those stuck emotions that are clogging up our system and help restore free flowing water, free flowing energy. And when we can do that, it's almost like we become the safe home for our children.
Yeah.
And I think that is something that I think it's happening. All of us are doing our bit in our own way. But that's my contribution.
Yeah.
I love to work with nervous system, especially.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you said so much that's so really, really powerful. I mean, I couldn't agree more that the role of the mother in the family is so important, and even even more so, even more than just the family, but in the creation of culture, you know. And I mean, mothers now we're doing too much, I think. You know, we are we're just doing so much. You know, we're chasing after careers and at the same time trying to raise our children, trying to make the money. Like there's a lot of societal pressures, right, that are maybe kind of inescapable at this point in time, right? I mean, um, households have to be two income earners, you know, not just one. So we don't have not very many people or mothers have the luxury to be able to be full-time mothers. They have to work. Um, but I think if more of us can realize that time frame, that you know the first 3 years of the child and beyond, but especially those first 3 years are the most important.
Yeah.
And I always want to advocate for women in that during that time we really do need to ask for what we need, which isn't a weakness. We ask for what we need because there's so much that is needed for us to give, and so we have to be properly resourced. And I love how basically you're equating motherhood with power. And oftentimes it doesn't feel that way. I think for a
Yes.
lot of women,
Mm.
they feel disempowered, they feel
Right.
unappreciated. I mean, obviously, our work as mothers is not paid. We don't get to get paid for all the things, and so to to I guess sort of like in a way sort of stand up against or at least claim our power, even
Right.
even if the external society does not reward us or
Right.
acknowledge
Right.
us, that we have to hold the value for ourselves and knowing
Right.
that the work that we do is so much bigger
Yes.
than just making money or, it's so, so profound. And
So rightly you've brought out this angle where you said this one word, stand against sorry, everything that's happening. Like it feels like you are swimming upstream
mhm,
while doing the greatest work.
yeah.
And I feel like somewhere there, and like you said, not all of us have the luxury to be a stay-home mom with our babies and nurture them the first 3 years or whatever years. And even like, those mothers that have time or the space, somehow we are made to feel less than, even though we can do without having to go out and somewhere the society puts the pressure that, oh, you stay home, then there's something not okay, you should be hustling outside as well, or you're not contributing enough. And I feel like that's like a narrative that the collective is going through, and instead of standing up against that, my work, is more based on how can I fill your cup so much that no matter how many holes the world pokes at you
Mm,
as you're mothering,
mhm,
you're so overflowing that it doesn't matter to you. Whether you're a working mom
mm,
and constantly feeling guilty that, oh my God, I wish I had more time with my baby, how can I make you feel that whatever work you're doing, you give that 100%. And when you come back home, you give your baby 100%. And it's got nothing to do with how much time, it's just that quality time.
mm,
But to do that, if you're not internally strong, then no matter what I say or do, no matter how many resources moms get, they will still be depleted and they'll still be miserable. And
mm,
so I feel like my work is all about how can I nurture that mother? How can I nurture that nurturer so that she feels so full, no matter where she is, whether she is a stay home mom or she goes out to work and earn a living, or she's a single mom.
mm,
How can she feel proud about the fact that, hey, I'm a woman, I'm a mom, I'm a career woman, and I may not have everything perfect, and yet I'm not a failure. If we can get to that place, I feel we've done our job.
mm, mhm,
Because most of the time, it's not the outside that's pushing us down. It's what we do to ourselves because of what's coming to us from the outside.
mm. Yeah. Yeah, having those clearer boundaries. So, what are the ways, like, so how do you help mothers fill their cup or learn
So
how to
the
fill their own cup? Yeah.
so the first and the foremost thing that I often ask moms is not ask, or I offer moms is they most of the time the world is giving us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps. You do this and you get this result. In my work, I tell moms to stop whatever they're doing because, like you said, we are doing far too much. That's not necessary. And we exhaust ourselves. So I tell them, you come home in the sense when they come into my field, into my container, I tell them, just come and breathe and stop. I'm not going to ask you to do 1, 2, 3. No steps required. You come, you breathe, you exhale out all the stress. And as they come, it's one of my gifts that my presence kind of just calms, soothes, and grounds people. So when they come, I just ask them to put down their burdens and be in the space with me. And the rest gets taken care of. Because once they feel rested, relaxed, and nurtured in a way that their spirit feels nurtured, it's easy for the physical to shift then. So they fill their cup spiritually, energetically. And then whatever needs to be done is done in a very different manner from a space of spaciousness
Yeah.
rather than being, reactive. I help them stop reacting and start responding. And the analogy I would give is most of the time, I mean, when you think of cars, they go at a fast speed. If we have to take an exit and we are going at a very fast speed, we can't make that exit.
Mm.
You have to slow down. So
Yeah.
if you're really fast, you've missed the exit.
Hmm.
But if we can slow down, no matter, maybe it's not this exit, maybe it's this, or maybe it's another exit. No matter which exit we have to take, or even if we missed, we can still, course correct because we are not at a very high speed. We, at a high speed, when we try to correct and we missed a turn, there's always bound to be some accident.
Mm.
But when we slow down, even if we miss a turn, even if we've gone a little further, because we're not too fast, we are not in a frenzy, we can still calmly respond. Okay, I've missed this turn. What's the next step?
Mm.
Same with mothers, because I feel, we're always going a million miles a minute in our heads. And this is a true share that mothers share with me when they come into my circle. I do mother circle,
Mm.
and they'll be like, Shilpi, my mind is going a million miles a minute, and I can't even think of meditation. So
Mm.
I say, yeah, that's why I'm calling you not to meditate with me. I'm just calling you to come and go on a journey with me. And I take them on these journeys. It's create a visualization. And yet, because they don't have to think, the thinking is not being done by them. I'm guiding them through whatever I
Mhm.
need for them to do. So
Mhm.
they come along. It's like going on a tour. There's a tour
Mhm.
guide. So
Mhm.
I become their tour guide. We watch the sceneries, we do all of that. And when we come back, we are relaxed because as I've taken them through journey, at the same time, I'm energetically, whether I'm activating the sacred geometry or I'm cleansing their energy with my voice, the frequency matters. As we come back, they're relaxed and they're in a very different space from when they started.
Mhm. I love that.
And And so that's when the answers, I mean, they have a lot of issues bubbling up and they're feeling bogged down. But by the time they have come, all that bubbles have kind of settled. And it's like the lake that's cleared up and you can see. And
Yeah.
they are able to see their own solutions.
Yeah.
And that's all we need. We don't need to bombard moms with solutions. They all have their own solutions.
Yeah.
It's just that can I make their waters clear enough for them to see?
Yeah. It's funny. I love it's, so often we think that, oh, I need to get away. I need to go on vacation. I need to go buy a plane ticket, go to Hawaii, spend all this money, and oftentimes the vacations are just as exhausting as your daily life. And truly, meditation, guided visualizations, we can go on vacation inside of ourselves. We really
Yeah,
can.
right,
Like you can go on a journey and come back and feel completely restored and replenished. You don't need
right.
to go off and spend all this money at the spa or whatever. I mean, that's nice and everything, but let's be real. Like, it's not practical for a lot of
Yeah,
people to spend that kind of money. on a weekly or monthly basis, and so to be able to give that gift for ourselves. And I know for myself, whenever I think it's true, and maybe you probably experience this too, whenever you're in a group, collectively doing this kind of work together, energy work, meditation, it definitely, the space is amplified, wouldn't you say? Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Like the calm and the peace is much more, um,
Because they're experiencing it collectively. They're dropping
yeah,
those heavy loads.
yeah,
And if one mother reaches that, that threshold, everybody else collectively reaches that. And then the best part that happens is we ripple it out into the larger. So from that mother, it first goes to her children and then, to the spouse or the family, the larger community. And when we can do that, consistently, like we say, for everything, consistency is the key, whether you're brushing your teeth, you're taking a bath, taking your vitamins. You can't take vitamins once in a blue moon and say, hey, I'm feeling healthy. It's the same thing. When we consistently get together or take care of ourselves, whether it's the meditation, whether it's the physical exercise, whether it's the vitamin, nutrition, that is what pays off. And so, by ourselves as individuals, as human beings, it's so easy to get derailed. We have so much happening all the time, like all the shiny objects trying to take our attention away from our path. And so it's important to, get together, come together just like a mother circle, or have somebody like a mentor or a coach, and and help. I mean, let them help you
hmm
on this path because it we were never meant to walk this path alone. Olden times. I come from India, so in Indian culture, ancient Indian culture, now everything is different as well. There are all these nuclear families, single
hmm
parent families.
hmm
But there was a time when one family was like a village.
yeah,
Uncles and aunts and grandmas and grandfathers, they all lived together. And you had somebody at all times. You were never alone. If you needed some kind of support, you
yeah,
could always go to. But right now, you don't have that. It's like a luxury.
yeah,
Plus, you can't even trust. I mean, you can have a bunch of friends, but you can't, there are these gradients. Plus, where in their consciousness they are. Not that they are consciously trying to put you down or dampen your spirit, but if they're not at an elevated stage or, you know, um, higher than what you can see, and if they are a bit lower, their perspective is going to be lower and they're going to bring your energy down as well. So it's almost like it's the need of the hour to
yeah,
get together
yeah,
and
yeah,
create that village that you naturally don't have.
yeah. And I think that we've come to a point where I think a lot of us are kind of coming to a screeching halt and going like, whoa, wait a minute. Where are we headed? Maybe we need to rethink about the direction that we're going in and actually change the paradigm or, um, because I think, yeah, I mean, there is so much more awareness now, or people are waking up. Like I'm seeing so many more mothers choosing home births, for example. Um, so many more people choosing choosing to create community,
Right.
and to and I guess that there's kind of a paradox in that this this age of such isolation and separation that has kind of been cultivated over the years, that it's pushing us to want to choose something differently. Like, so in a way, it's kind of a gift, right? Because it makes us aware of
Yeah.
wait a minute, we do have free will and choice. We can choose differently. We can create environments and conditions for ourselves to where yeah, we can have a much more nourishing, beautiful life for ourselves as mothers, for our children.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Yeah, and this work that you're doing is just really profound and so important. It ripples out, right? Because when one woman reclaims her power,
Hmm.
just her presence
Yeah.
influences another mother that maybe that she interacts with. And so
Right.
it has this ripple effect because we are all connected. Yeah.
Absolutely. So beautifully said. Because, you know, when I think of, what you just said, I mean, lighting each other up,
Hmm.
you see fireworks, when we have, whether it's Diwali or when it's firework day, 4th of July, a lit, um, what do you call those long ones?
Sparklers.
Sparklers, right?
Yeah.
You can light another sparkler with a lit sparkler much faster than a flame.
This is true. Yeah.
So when a person is lit, they can light so many other souls faster than you can go quietly and be doing chants and meditation and whatever and wait for that awakening. But in the presence of an awakened one, and that's why I think in the olden times, people went to these ashrams to be with those awakened souls like the gurus.
Hmm.
Why? Because they are able to, because of their presence, they're able to light something in you
Yeah.
and awaken, which is far faster and easier than doing your own sadhana and spending great amount of time and energy
Mhm.
and trying to elevate your consciousness.
Yeah. Yeah. I loved and appreciate the Indian culture because the divine feminine is actually very clearly represented. Not so much in the West, you know. I mean, we have maybe in Christianity we have Mother Mary, maybe, um, but other than that, not really. But in India, there's all the different aspects of the Divine Mother.
Right.
You know, there's, Lakshmi and Durga and Kali and Saraswati and all, it's so rich. And
Right.
so, um, you coming from that background, it's like you carry this wisdom that I think that many of us in the West um, don't have that to look to connect with, you know. Um,
Right.
and those goddesses, archetypes, um, when we take the time to maybe read about them or study about them, um, it can definitely help us to remember, what are
Right.
all the different qualities of the mother, right? I mean, the mother isn't always just sweet. Sometimes she has to be fierce, right?
Yes.
To
Yes.
protect her children. So, you know, to be able to embody that is so important. Yeah.
As you're talking about the Western culture and the Christianity,
Hmm.
I just it came and we are talking about feminine rising.
Hmm.
Mother Mary is, I've often heard about Mary Magdalena and
Yeah.
Mother Mary,
Yeah.
some prominent feminine figures. And over the time, I'm sure the the way it was written or the way it played out was very different than what it has trickled down to.
Mm.
And somewhere I remember this whole thing, Virgin Mary. What does it mean? It is depicted, oh, Mary was a virgin and she became pregnant. And for a layperson, it's like, oh, she has never had an intercourse with a man and she just conceived. And so that the purity of it. And I remember reading about it saying, actually, the meaning of Virgin Mary was that she had the power to choose who she wanted to be with or whose child she wanted to, you know,
Mm.
bear.
Mm.
That is what Virgin Mary meant.
Mm.
that sovereignty, that no matter how many, people she chose to be with, but she still had that sovereignty in her. And nobody questioned it then. And then over time, because, people write history
Mhm.
and they paint it differently, it came down to chastity. I don't even know how
Mhm.
it turned. And
Yeah.
then it became, like convoluted, that whole purity thing.
Mhm.
And I feel, and when we look at that whole concept of Virgin Mary, the power she had, and I think that is something that we've been made to very conveniently erase the power bit,
Mm.
but
Yeah.
given it a connotation of you got to be pure. You have to be a good girl. You have to be, you know, domesticated or, whatever, however it suited the society
Yeah.
for women. Or if they were too strong, they were called witches.
Mm.
But we have always been intuitive. We know things. That's not because we are witches. We have that power. All of us do, man or a woman. But women, because we are portals of life, we have that extrasensory powers. You can't deny that.
Yeah.
And we are not putting the masculine down. But there are something that just come, just like a man has those muscles.
Yeah.
We are not competing with them. They can have the muscles. But at the same time, to have these extrasensory powers and be put down for that,
Mm. Right.
you
Yeah, the
know,
suppression
we
and oppression of woman, we're seeing the divine feminine rising. I mean, I notice even in just my little community, I live in a very small little valley. There's women's circles happening everywhere. Women are gathering. They're sharing their wisdom, they're connecting with each other. And I think more and more women are waking up. It's not so much that we're here to take down the masculine, but it's more about we're here to take up
wake
our
up.
space. Yeah,
Yes, to just wake up and
right,
be ourselves.
right. Yeah,
Yeah, it's like that soft awakening, just
yeah,
being ourselves,
yeah.
who we are meant to be. It's like
Mhm.
I always say, if I can remind people of the song they came to sing and of the truth they came here to speak and be aligned who they truly are, I think my job is done
Mm.
because it's that having forgotten who we were intrinsically. Because as we are born, we know. I mean, we are the ones who decided to incarnate. We knew exactly what the plan was. But the moment we take birth, and I think it's just they say it's a way of spirit helping you move on. Because if you remember everything, it's just hard to disconnect and move on. But then we completely forget why we are here, or the circumstances or the surrounding makes us forget. We want to sing a song and then we are told, okay, no, that's not okay. You have to be in this box. You have to can't think outside the box. Just go to school. Just do what you're told. And then we lose that. Excuse me. And I feel that's why there is just so much of disharmony and conflict. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Big energy.
Yeah. Yeah, big energy. Yeah. I would love to just close with you sharing with everyone what are the ways um, that women can work with you? What do you have currently um, available for women to join? What are the different ways that they can work with you?
So, just like I said, we all have our own needs, whether it's a deeper level which could be one-on-one,
Mhm.
or it could be just joining a circle, just to get a feel of my energy, what the work is like, and whether it's aligned for you. So you could join a mother circle. You could reach out to me and connect with me directly, and we can get on a call, chit chat, and see how it aligns and what it is that you need, because we are all individual. And currently, I have something called the Sacred Return, 12 days of homecoming with Shilpi. So generally, it's an intensive 12 days. Like for 12 days around Christmas, this has been like since 2021,
Mm.
around my birthday. And I'm a portal baby. I was born on 12/12. I always feel like December is just such a magical month for me.
Mhm.
And 2021, I felt called, just strongly, I felt I would keep hearing, Shilpi, you have to do this 12 days of homecoming with Shilpi. And I was just, starting out then, and I would just play around. I said, why 12 days? 12 days is too long. Can I just do 3 days? And I would hear, no, no 3 days. It has to be 12. And so the first time I did 12 days, I spaced it out at every like each day I would do 45 minutes of clearing.
Mm.
And towards the end of it, it was all about coming home to ourselves. By the 12th day, a lot of people started telling me, Shilpi, we just have this ease in our spirit.
Mm. Beautiful.
And I thought that is exactly the purpose of me doing the 12 days of homecoming. You're not going home to anything but yourself. And so I have done it every year, but this year I kept hearing, Shilpi, you have to do not just in this month of December because it gets too crunched up and then people, it's too intense,
Mm.
especially in the changing times. They need something that's more gentle, not intense,
Mm.
because everything else is intense.
Mm.
So I have designed 12 days with Shilpi, homecoming with Shilpi, but it's a very gentle uh, prelude to the 12 months, like the next year. 12 months are going to go by, and we are going to do embodiment. What started as 12 days of homecoming, which will be a prelude, which is a
Mm.
gift from me to anybody that wants to join. And
Mhm.
we start this Saturday, 20th of December. And I come and it's a pop up Facebook group or Telegram group.
Mhm.
I post something about the first day. It's about returning to the soil of ourselves,
Mhm.
back home to ourselves. So every one day you get a little post or a little voice note and a daily practice. So you listen, allow the words to do their magic. And if you feel called to share something or write in your journal, fine. If you don't feel called to do that, that's perfectly fine as well. I want you to come and be in that space of just being held. No doing, no fixing. Just start slowly arriving. Because when you start moving, you have already arrived. But we can't know that because we are always in motion.
Mm.
So my 12 days, I will send you the link to it so you can share.
Perfect. Yeah.
And then of course they can connect with me on a DM and yeah.
Perfect. Beautiful. That's a beautiful gift. Wonderful. Shilpi, thank you so much for just your wisdom, your grace, your energy. It's definitely felt, and really appreciate you taking the time to be with us today.
Oh, it's my pleasure, Tanya. Thank you for giving me this opportunity because it's something very, very close to my heart and a special mission, like I said. And I think we are all taking each other home,
Yeah.
you and I. every, all light workers in our own special way. We are just taking all our sisters back home.
Yeah. So good. So beautiful. I feel that. I'm just radiating. Thank you so much.
Thank you
It's
so much,
beautiful.
Tanya.
And thank you for to the audience for watching. Please do like, share, and subscribe. Share this video with any mothers that you think are out there who are struggling, who could use some extra love and support. Please, please share. Mothers need support, and they do such important work in the world. And so thanks again, and bye for now. I'll talk again soon.